guys, welcome to another video.
Hi, I'm in the backseat.
He was where the backseats used to be. Now, today we're actually going to be working on the Mini again, but this time we're going to do some work in the interior because it is finally time, Aaron, for what?
The roll cage.
Yes, so first of all I want to give a big shout out to A&E Motorsports over in the Netherlands. These guys actually hooked me up with a roll cage. They gave me a great deal on it and they're a very cool company. So today we're actually going to be installing their half cage that they make for this car. Now, so in a minute we'll go outside and show you guys the cage, but this is their half club sport model, so it means that on the back it takes the original mounting points from the back seat, and here in the front we're gonna need to drill some extra holes in the chassis.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna drill some holes in the car that actually is, well, it's not that bad. There are holes all over the place.
It's full of holes already.
So yeah, without further ado, let's go and show you guys the cage we got.
Yay!
That's so going in the video.
I know.
So guys, so this is our new roll cage. So as you can see, we have the main hoop. So this will go right behind the front two seats, and then we actually have this bar, so this crossbar that will go actually from the top to the back to the mounting points for the back seats. Now, A&E gives you like tons of options on how you want your roll cage. So normally they start with the main hoop and with just a diagonal bar for reinforcement, but you can opt to go for a cross like I did. You can get the optional harness bars that I also got, but you also can go for like a bar that goes across the main hoop, beneath it, above it. You can actually go for parts that go to the front to secure the doors and everything, but I just wanted a clean half cage, and these cages actually get made to FIA standards, but I don't think they come with certification. It doesn't come with certification. Now, as you guys can also see, this is an unfinished cage, so this means it's just raw steel, but we will be getting this powder coated. But actually A&E also gives you the option to get it powder coated by them, but I opted, because I want to do something special with the interior of that car and have a color scheme, I opted to just go for the bare metal part. So now what we're actually going to be doing first is we're going to go and strip back the front carpet, get rid of the bucket seat that's already in there, and prep everything to put in the main hoop, mark the holes, and put in the rear cross section, just to make sure that everything fits. And then before we start drilling, yeah, just make sure that we drill the right spot.
Yeah.
So let's get started with that. So guys, while Aaron is wrenching away, so what we actually are doing is test fitting the cage before we get it off the powder coat. So we just put all the bolts in loosely over there, and there we still have one to put in. But the biggest issue were to get these two lined up. So what we actually did is we pushed it as much to that side, forward as we could, so that every bolt would thread in. And now we're actually slowly tightening every bolt, so maybe the cage could push itself into position, and then whilst everything is done, we'll put in that last one, and then we can mark where we need to drill our holes. But I gotta say, this looks pretty good.
What's poppin'? Don't mind me, just wrenching.
Why you guys wondering, this is what bottom pieces look like. So we're going to be drilling there through the chassis and then put a plate. You can see over there, those two plates will go on the bottom of the car and we'll fix it all. So guys, so right now the cage is fully fitted. So all the bolt holes for the half club sport part, so that means that it takes the OEM holes right there. That's all fastened. You have all the bolts in here at the top. So now we can actually go and mark where this will go. So as you guys can see, we now have the bottom part of the main hoop. So we have 4 holes to drill out right here, and then we have 4 holes to drill out on the other side, and then we can try and modify the carpet a bit to fit around it. But this is pretty straightforward. So normally we're gonna check under this chassis that there are no lines under there, but normally we will be okay. And then yeah, we can finish our test fit, and then after that we can take it all out again, so we can take this cage and get it powder coated. So guys, final update. Right now everything is drilled. Let me switch up the ISO a bit. So we got these 3 holes built. Now this one I'm going to drill out with after this one is out of the car, because I cannot reach with the drill. So we got the holes drilled. The only thing we needed to do on the underside of the car was you have like this little flap here. So there's one bolt right there, and then you see the flap hanging maybe right here. So this flap right here had this tab, but yeah, I tried to loosen it up, but the tab just broke off. So I'm gonna be removing this flap on either side, and this one I'm hoping to maybe modify and keep, or I'm also gonna be removing this little mud flap, maybe a bit of weight reduction, we'll see. So for right now we're gonna be disassembling the whole cage. Damn, this is a nice angle. So we're gonna be disassembling the cage and bring it to powder coat. But damn guys, take one more look at this. This looks amazing. This in color. I'm not telling you guys the color yet, but this thing in color. 2 bucket seats. Harnesses running. Wow, this is gonna be amazing, dude. I'm totally in love with this look. It's amazing. Alright, let's disassemble it, get in the car, and I will see you guys once the cage is painted. So guys, it's been a week since the last clip, and behind the camera right now is the new roll cage. But before I show you that, I want to show you a few things that I did to prep the car. So for one, I removed the centerpiece, because my goal for today actually is to get the cage in here and mount both the seats, and if possible to mount the harnesses on the driver's side. Now why do I want to do all this? Just because I want this car to feel a bit more complete. This car has been apart longer than I've had it, so I really want to get this car back together and looking more like a car again, on the inside at least. So what I actually did is, so I drilled out the holes, and as you guys can see there are some black spots on the paint where the holes are. I just gave them a quick coat of with some spray paint, just to not have exposed metal, so that the chassis will not rot. Done this on both sides, top and bottom, so that means that will be mostly ready to get the cage in. So then I'm gonna peel back the carpet and put the cage in, because today I'm actually alone to put this cage in, which is yeah, interesting. Are you ready to see the new the powder coat roll cage? 3, 2, 1. There she is, guys, and yes, I went with white. Now why did I choose white? Because it matches the white roof, white side mirrors, and I do want to put some more white accents in the interior, and this is gonna be, yeah, the white centerpiece. So I actually opted for powder coat, as I told you before, but I don't think I told you guys why. Why should you go with powder coat, not traditional paint? So one, powder coat is a bit cheaper than having this sprayed in spray booth, but secondly, powder coat is just a lot stronger than traditional paint, and that is very nice if this is gonna be a thing that maybe, yeah, you're gonna wrap your harnesses around, fire extinguisher will be mounted, or maybe you'll bang into it from time to time. But that just means that this is gonna be well protected for, yeah, dings and scratches and nicks in the paint. So I gotta say, guys who did this did an awesome job. So they did the sleeves, centerpiece, the whole 9 yards, and I didn't think of this, but even the backing plates, I don't know if you guys can see this, are finished in matte black now to stop them from getting any sorts of corrosion or whatever. Now normally these shouldn't rust, but it's just nice to have the peace of mind that they are coated as well. So I think that's about it. So now it's time to get this thing inside there. So guys, so as you could have seen from that video, I'm actually struggling a bit to get the center cross in between here. So what actually happened happens is when you coat your metal, like, there's a thickness added, and I think that was too much, so I just took my little Dremel tool with like this little abrasive bit. Damn, the sunlight is really messing up with my camera. But with this little abrasive bit, and I just removed the coating that was on both sides of this and on the inside of these two mounts. So hopefully, let's try again, and now it should fit. So guys, the roll cage is now in. She's looking amazing. Everything is bolted down and tightened up. This really looks awesome. So it's got nice bolts over here going both ways. Nice cross for extra rigidity. We got the two harness bars in there. On this side we got some really nice cutting around the carpets. We're not, well, that side I made a miscalculation of course, but this carpet is trash anyways. I'm not really worried, but this is amazing, you guys. So that's the biggest part of this puzzle installed. So Next up is actually gonna be the seating itself. So we're gonna be looking into how we're gonna actually be mounting the seat. So as you guys know, I already mocked up the front and the driver's side one, but for that one we still need to look into. So I think I'm gonna be putting the seat in, checking where we're gonna need to drill the 2 extra holes for the, where we're gonna drill a few extra holes for the 6-point harnesses. But damn, just look at that cage, guys. I'm really in love with the cage. So let's get this seating situation fixed. So guys, so I just got the seat off the rails. So these are the OEM rails that I took off the original seats. I got these brackets made, but I needed to modify them a bit. So maybe if I lighten this up. So as you can see, normally this rail is a continuous plate, but I needed to cut out space for this and this. So this is actually just here the lever mechanism for the sliders, and then we needed this to unlock the sliders. So as you can see, this actually works pretty well. So now I'm gonna put this one back in and then look at the seat, because the problem with this is this original seat rails are much wider than what you would normally get for a bucket seat. Now there is a way to fix that. Now of course, if it goes wider, your seat will have space in between the plates. Now I try turning them around and such, but if I turn them around, I'm going too small, and if they go out, I am about 1 centimeter on both sides too wide. So what I'm actually going to be doing is, first I'm going to measure how much space I need by using washers, and then I'm going to have a friend of mine just make a few spacers on his mill that will perfectly fit in here, and also get some longer hardware to offset the extra space from the spacer, so that we still have enough threads in the seat, and then it all should still be fine. So I'm gonna get this back in the car and start playing with spacers. So guys, another fast forward. As you can see, I've got the seat in and I've been playing around a bit with my 6-point harness. So as you can see, the shoulder straps are already installed temporarily because we still need to take them up for size and everything, but I first want to have the 2 lap belts and like the crotch belt or whatever it's called ready. But for the inside lap belt and for the crotch belt, we need to make a few holes. So for the inside, so for this one here, so as you can see, I have the one ring over there, so that one is mounted in the OEM position for like the seat belt anchor. But so on this side we still need to make a hole in the trans tunnel about the same height as that one, get it in there. Then I have a plate to put on the back, and then for the lap belt, so for this for the crotch belt, they're actually 2, so we need to make 2 holes. And from what I measured, so the seat is in my position, if you look on this side, we're actually gonna have to drill right behind this piece here. So right behind here, we're gonna make 2 holes. Then they need to be about 20 degrees apart, so we're gonna do some extra measuring and such once before we drill them. But we need to drill the 2 holes here, and then we can get again a ring in there, plate on the back, and then those 2 points will also be anchored correctly. So first things first, we're gonna take this seat out and look into making these holes, and then once that's all sorted out, we'll put the seat back in and we'll start mocking up the passenger side seat, which is still gonna actually use like the OEM 3-point harness or 3-point seat belt. just because I'm not thinking I'm gonna be taking a lot of passengers, and at the moment that will be more than enough for them. So guys, after drilling all the holes and putting in all the D-rings, let me show you where I put everything. So for one, for the inner side lap belt, we're going to right here. I couldn't put it anywhere any more forward because for one, the seat wasn't going to be able to pass if you like slide up and down, but secondly, because there are a lot of like structural supports in here, you really need to go to back here. Now this is nicely secured, so on the back of all these rings there's like a plate with a nut welded to it, just to like even out the pressure on the panel. So that's awesome. And then for the crotch belt, maybe, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. Let me just try and just play a bit. Well, it's really hard to see, but in there, so behind this bar in there, actually, so somewhere here in the floor there are 2 D-rings, and you can actually, 2 rings, and then you can actually see the 2 plates, so 1 and 2 right here underneath the floor. So now we can actually get everything back together. We can get the seat belts in, start measuring up for size, and let's I'm just looking forward to having a harness in this car. Let's just do that. So guys, so with the seat in and the harness fully fitted is really awesome and amazing, and I'm really happy to see this coming all together. But there's one piece missing, and that's the passenger seat. So as you guys can see, I already put back like the OEM seat rail on this side. I also got a pair of brackets for the second seat. So hope you guys can actually see this. But so what I'm going to be doing now is actually looking and positioning it to where I want the holes to go in the bracket, and then see where I actually need to cut the bottom side again, just like I did the other side. So once that's all gonna be okay and fitted, we can then put the bucket seat in, and that's where I'm gonna leave. Yeah, and that's where I'm gonna end today's video. Now, because it's already getting dark and getting a bit late, I'm actually gonna knock this one out and show you guys the finished product. Let's go. So guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. It was a long one, but I'm really happy with this new roll cage and how the interior of the Mini is looking right now. Now again, big shout out to A&E Sports. I will leave their link in the description down below. Be sure to go check them out. They make some awesome roll cages. And yeah, I will see you all in the next video.